Into match number 2 we go now over in the Europa Conference League with some clubs looking to bounce back at the second time of asking. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you next. That's right, folks. Back once again with another video. It is match number 2 over in the Conference League, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe. You want to subscribe for Blackburn Rovers, Conference League, world football. We're going to all here under one rooski. That's right. Some clubs looking to make it back-to-back wins to put themselves right in contention to be in those top 8 spots. But of course, who needs a bit of work to do? Well, we'll showcase you all of that. Much more in a second. Big shout out to the members of the patrons. You know who you are. And again, can I get a cheeky like request from you guys? What are we talking about? Let's go for 30 likes. Nice and easy. You guys got this. But before all that, we're going to jump in the deep end and showcase you what went on last time around. All right then, folks, let's turn the clock back to last round of matches. Now, those games and results should be on the screen right about now. And these were my predictions. Currently, this is what the table looks like over in the Conference League. As you can see it, Liga Red Imps, AZ Alkmaar, Breidablik, just a whole host of them down there with no points. We do have a middle of the pack there, of course, like Shelbourne, Hacken, Aberdeen could do with some work. Shakhtar Donetsk also creeping towards the top 8. Fiorentina just outside, but the top 8 look like this. Zrinjski, Mostar, Larnaca, Lech, Poznan, Sparta, Prague, Samsunspor, Celje, Crystal Palace, and Rayo Vallecano. Okay, folks, now we focus to the next round of games, and these are those matches. That's right. Each and every one of them taking place on this coming Thursday. So first and foremost, let's hop on over to Austria. That's right. We're going to go to the, where are we going to go? To the Allianz Stadion over in Austria, a.k.a. Vienna is the venue, as Rapid Vienna take on Fiorentina. That's right. Coming at you this coming Tuesday, the 23rd of October. That's right. Rapid Vienna managed by Peter Stoger, coming from themselves all the way down to 32nd, yet to get a point in this Conference League. Of course, it is very early days. Standing in the way today will be Stefano Pioli's Fiorentina, who coming into this in 8th spot right now, of course, with the opening win in their campaign. Now, these two sides have played twice since 2023, one win apiece, of course. That was back in the Conference League playoff round last season, way back in August 2023. Now, the victory for Rapid Vienna was over in Austria. It was a 1-0 win back in August 2023. As for Fiorentina, they also picked up the win in their own backyard when they locked horns, of course, in the summer a couple seasons back. Now, coming into this, Rapid Vienna are on the back of a defeat, losing to Lasic in the Austrian League. Their form right now is pretty grim. 4 defeats on the bounce. Up against the Fiorentina side, also struggling. Just 1 win in the last 6. Also coming into on the back of a defeat, losing to Milan over in Serie A. Now, the bookies are odds for this one. Fiorentina massively fancy for the victory here. Of course, they are one of the favourites for this title. Of course, the domestic league is grinding them down a little bit, but of course, this could be a bit of a welcome break for them. So coming into this, I'm going to go with a cheeky, wherever I am, 1-1 score. I do think our Vienna's side at home should be able to take something from this game. Fiorentina will probably be the favourites. They are with the favourites with the bookies, but in my eyes, they won't lose this game. Next up, folks, we're hopping over to Poland, that's right, as Shakhtar Donetsk are taking on Legia Warsaw, that's right, with their match being played neutral venue over in Poland. Shakhtar Donetsk under Arda Turan sit at 11th right now, with just the 3 points for the campaign. Doing all right now. Up against the Legia Warsaw, into 23rd, no points so far, but also coming into this on pretty woeful kind of form. What do I mean by that? Well, they've lost the last 3 matches in all competitions, and they're coming into this with just 33% form. The opposition, Shakhtar, who are the hosts, also coming into this on a bumpy patch, back-to-back games without a win themselves, but do look much more better than them on the form book. Now, they have played twice. Shakhtar won both of them, most recently back in August 2006. When they played in Poland, the result of I think it was a qualifier, Champions League qualification way back. Shakhtar won both legs in total, 4-2 on aggregate. Now, coming into Shakhtar are on the back of a draw over the Polyester Zontymi in the Ukrainian top flight. Legia Warsaw also losing last time around against Zagłębie Lubion over in the Polish top flight. The bookies odds for this one, they'll go with Shakhtar. Think I'm going to go that way as well. Going to go with a 2-1 win for the hosts, even though this match is actually being played in Poland, which is a little bit of a balmy one. Let's go to the next match then, shall we, as we head over to Croatia. That's right, as Rijeka take on Sparta Prague. That's right, it's coming at you also this coming Thursday. Now, Rijeka coming into this are on the back of a okay bit of form right now, 50% form for them, 1-2 loss to and drawn 2 in all competitions. They do sit 23rd though, which means they haven't tasted a win just yet. Sparta Prague under Brian Prisk, they sit 3rd, 3 points for them so far, unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. They're looking pretty good at the moment. Now, these two sides have played a friendly. It was way back in July 2022. Sparta Prague won that game, but of course we don't really count friendlies on this channel. Rijeka, though, did pick up a cheeky draw against Slavan Belupo in the Croatian top flight last time around. As for Sparta Prague, also coming into on the back of a drawing with Slovako Uneski in the Czech top flight. The bookies for this one find it quite tight, but they're going to go with the visitors. That is Sparta Prague. I think I might go that way as well. Going to go with the 1-0 win over in Croatia. Let's head over to Sweden now, as Hacken are going to be taking on Rayo Vallecano. What a game that is going to be. Coming at you up in Scandinavia. Rayo Vallecano, of course, over in La Liga, are taking on the Swedish outfit, of course, rocking the top flight of Swedish football. Now, these two sides have locked horns never. It'll be the first time that they have played. Hacken, though, coming into in pretty good form. 19th at the table, just the 1 point so far. Unbeaten in the last 4 matches. Against the Vallecano side, who've won 3 on the bounce. Of course, doing all right over in Spain in the domestic competition. Now, Vallecano's form is pretty good if you dig deep into the numbers here. 3 wins on the spin, 3 clean sheets on the spin. Scoring 6 goals without return. As for their opposition, Hacken, they are unbeaten in the last 4. But a couple of draws in that. So can they amount a challenge here? Of course, last time in this competition, Vallecano picking up the win over Shakhtar Tvrdovo. As for Hacken, they're picking a cheeky away draw against Shelbourne, of course, to give themselves both points on their opening round of matches. Now, coming into this, the bookies will be back here, Vallecano. They are a real threat, not only in this competition, but also doing very, very well over in La Liga. So I'm going to go with a draw. Yeah, I try not to underestimate a lot of these Scandinavian clubs, especially at home. It's a long way to go. They can be quite a loud crowd. So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and give them a cheeky point out of this one. Let's move on to the next one then. It is Drita taking on Omonia Nicosia, of course, over in Pristina. That's right, we're heading there. As KF Drita and the Ramadan Shakadish coming into this at 17th of the table. Just the 1 point so far, but they are unbeaten in the last 4 matches. Just 1 defeat in at least the last 6. Up against Omonia Nicosia, up against Henningberg, aka ex-Rover centre, ex-Rovers coach, ex-Rovers defender in the dugout. They just lost once also in the last 6. Both sides on 75% form heading into this, but Omonia Nicosia opening up their account with a defeat in this competition. Now, Omonia Nicosia are on the back of a 2-1 win over Krasnas over in the Cypriot top flight. KF Drita picking up a cheeky 2-1 win as well against Malashiva. The bookies' odds for this one then coming at you right here, right now. Drita underdogs. Omonia Nicosia are favoured for the W. I think I might be giving Nicosia the points here. 2-1 winners for me on the road. Big win for that to keep the Cypriot team alive. Let's hop on over to La France, Strasbourg under Liam Rosinius sit 12th right now, 3 points for them, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They're doing pretty good right now under him. And up against the Jaglonia Blairostich out of Poland, Adrian Simonech is the coach there, where these two sides will lock horns for the first time in their history books. Strasbourg, just a 1 defeat in the last 6, 75% form for them. Jaglonia Blairostich are unbeaten in at least the last 17 matches. So they're pretty good form right now. They're coming into on the back of that 4-0 win over Arkner Godova in the Polish top flight. Of course, they did win opening day in this competition, beating the Spartans. That was going to be a given anyway. Up against Strasbourg, who just picked up a 3-3 draw away to PSG. Not many clubs can say they could do that. Bookies odds for this one. They'll go with Liam Rosinius Strasbourg on this one. I'm going to go the same as well, which of course will be the first defeat in Jaglonia Blairostich recent run of form. Hopping over to Iceland now as Breidablik take on Cups. That's right, come at you over at the Northlands. That's right. Where are we? Reykjavik is the venue. Breidablik and the Halder Almarsson sit 34th with no points at the moment. Up against Cups, who sit 18th with the 1 point, coming into unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches now. Cups, of course, coming into on the back of that 3-1 win over HJK Helsinki. Big win in the old Finnish top flight there. Up against Breidablik, who did pick up a loss against Vikingur Reykjavik in the Icelandic top flight. As, of course, both Scandinavian outfits tried to get their first win in the competition so far. They've never played each other according to my data, but coming into this, Breidablik are the favourite here. Of course, they are the hosts as well. So, going to lean towards a home victory on this one as well. 2-0 winners, big win for Icelanders, big win in the Scandinavian territories, and of course, points on the board for the hosts. Let's hop on over to the Mediterranean now as AEK Athens lock horns with Aberdeen. That's right. Coming at you over at the Hagia Sophia Stadium. Athens under Marko Nikovic, yet to get a win so far. But they're coming into 2 defeats in the last 3 matches. Because the Aberdeen side and Jimmy Tillin, back-to-back wins for them. These 2 sides have yet to play each other according to my data. Aberdeen picking up that 1-0 win over St Mirren. It's actually back-to-back wins, back-to-back clean sheets for Aberdeen. Their last match in this competition was the 3-2 loss to Shakhtar Donetsk. As for AEK Athens losing to PAOK, Greek top flight at home, which of course is a bit of a damaging count for themselves. Coming into this though, locking horns with the bookies, going in favour with the hosts here. Massively fancy Aberdeen, not really given any chance to win this one. I'm going to go with a win. For nobody here. I'm going to go with a draw. 2-2 right down the middle. Yeah, because I'm not too sure about Aberdeen at the moment. Of course, 2 wins on the bounce, 2 clean sheets on the bounce. They might cause a bit of a problem and get something out of this game. Up on over to Skopje now as Shakhtar Tetovo take on Shelbourne. That's right. The first meeting of these 2 clubs. So Shakhtar sit 28 right now, no points for them on the board. Shelbourne, though, under Joseph O'Brien, 90th of the table, just the 1 point coming into unbeaten in the last 5 matches. That includes 3 wins on the bout. Shakhtar Tetovo, back-to-back games without a win. They did lose last time they played in this competition, losing away to Vallecano, picking up a cheeky draw, though, against Palista Patola in their top flight. As for Shelbourne, they did pick up a draw against Hacken last time around, then following on 3 wins on the spin, 2 of them on the road, of course beating Shamrock and Cork City, and then bringing it home, Silga Rovers, the W. The bookies odds for this one, they'll go with Shakhtar Tetovo, but I don't know about this one. I think this could go either way, but I'm going to give it to the host here, KF Shakhtar. It's a long way to go, and of course this is kind of one of those games that could go either way. Hopping on over to the Dutchlands as AZ Alkmaar lock horns with the Slovan Bratislava side. That's right, AZ Alkmaar and Martin Martins sit 35th right now, no points on the board, back-to-back wins for them. But they haven't lost any of the last 10 home matches coming into this. Up against the Slovan Bratislava side, Vladimir Weiss is the coach, just the 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 22nd with an opening day defeat as well. Both sides, of course, losing opening day. AZ Alkmaar got a bit of a spanking from AEK Larnaca last time around. They since bounced back with back-to-back wins in the top flight, beating Telstar, beating Ajax in their own backyard, goodness gracious me. As for Slovan Bratislava, losing to Strasbourg, back-to-back away wins, back-to-back clean sheets as well. So both sides are picking up some respectable points in the domestic top flight. We're coming into this, the bookies back at AZ Alkmaar for this. I'm going that way as well. 3-1 winners. AZ Alkmaar should take this to the house. Hopping over to Turkey now. Samsunspor taking on Dynamo Kiev. Coming at you over at the Samsun 19 Mainz Stadium. Samsunspor and Thomas Reis. They sit 13th right now. 3 points for them. It's here somewhere. Maybe over here. I don't know. We're going to have to zoom in on the manual. Coming into this, Thomas Reis are doing all right. 13th at the table. 3 points for them. Unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. That's picking up 3 wins and 3 draws. Dynamo Kiev, though, on Alexander Shakovsky, they sit 28th. Are winless in the last 5. Look at it a different way. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. They are the draw kings. That's right. Now, they have never played each other, these 2 clubs, but coming into Samsunspor on the back of that 3-1 with Kayaspor in this competition last time around, they also picked up an away win against Legia Warsaw. As for Dynamo Kiev, they lost to Palace last time around, and since then it's been back-to-back draws for them, drawing with Metalist and drawing with Zoyogori Lenastisht over in the Ukrainian top flight. The bookies odds for this one, Samsunspor under the home form, look like they're going to get this one. Did I go that way? Not too sure. Going to go with a 0-0 on this one. There are draws all over the place here between these 2 sides, so maybe I'm right with that one. Up on over to London now as Crystal Palace lock horns with AEK Larnaca. As, of course, Oliver Glasner's boys try to get back into action and maybe make it back-to-back wins. Coming into this, Glasner's boys are 7th right now, 3 points on the board. They're coming into this on the back of back-to-back games without a win. Up against Larnaca, who are under Emmanuel Egdesiz, just 1 defeat in the last 5. They sit 2nd with 3 points. Palace are 7th with 3 points. Yet to play each other, these 2 clubs coming into this. Palace are on the back of that 3-3 draw with Bournemouth. As for Larnaca, 2-0 winners away to Palrimini. That's right. So since they last played in this competition, Larnaca opening up with that 4-0 win over AZ Alkmaar. Palace with that 2-0 win over Dynamo Kiev. The bookies odds will go with Crystal Palace. They should win this game. They are hosts. I'm going to go with a win as well for Palace, even a big one as well. Gone 4-1 winners. Mateta on a good bit of form right now with a hat-trick this past weekend. Let's hop on over to the Rock now as Lincoln Red Imps under Juan Perez's 36 in the table, taking on Lech Poznan side under Niels Fredriksson. That's right, they sit third with 3 points at the moment. That's Gibraltar to you and I. Just one defeat in the last 6 for Lincoln Red Imps. They sit 83rd% form for them in all competitions. Up against the Lech Poznan side, unbeaten in the last 6. In fact, they haven't lost any of the last 11 away matches, and they fancy their chances in this game. Lech Poznan on the back of a draw against Poznan Szczecin over in the Polish top flight. They last played in this competition. Big 4-1 winners at home against SK Rapid. On the flip side, Lincoln Red Imps on the back of a 3-0 win over College 1975. They last played in this competition against Zrinjski Mostar, where they got an absolutely massive defeat. Their 5-0 loss last time around. The bookies' odds will go with Lech Poznan. They should win this game. It might even be a big one. I've gone 5-0 winners for the visitors on this one on the rock. Over to Germany now as Mainz under Bo Henriksen taking on Zrinjski Mostar under Igor Stimic. That's right, as these two sides lock horns for the very first time. At the Mauer Arena, Mainz currently find themselves 13th with 3 points, but they've lost 3 of the last 4 matches in all competitions. Up against Zrinjski Mostar, they are top of the pops here. 3 wins, 3 points for them so far. Unbeaten in at least the last 6. In fact, they haven't lost any of the last 10 matches, including a win last time around against Slogger. As for the opposition, Mainz just losing 7-goal thriller to Leverkusen over in the Bundesliga in Germany, of course. Bookies' odds for this one. Mainz should fancy their chances on this one. However, Zrinjski Mostar might prove to be a sticky wicket because of their recent run of form heading in. So I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. That close win. Might still take the points, which of course will be a bit of a shitter for Zrinjski Mostar. Hop over to Czechia now as Olomouc take on Kryškovia. That's right. It's coming at you also the Thursday. Thomas Jakonja's Olomouc. They sit 28th right now. No points on the board. Just 1 win though in the last 6 matches. Up against Kryškova side from Poland, managed by Marek Papsun. They are, of course, 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 8th right now with an opening day win in this competition. Now, they have played once. It was a friendly. It was a 3-2 win for Kryškovia back in January 2025. The away side coming in is on the back of a loss to Krakowa Krakow, of course. As for the opposition, or the host, should we say, Olomouc drawing last time around against Karvina, and they did lose the opening match against Fiorentina in this competition. As for Kryškovia, they did beat University Krakowa in their opening match as well. And in this one, this was a tight one. It's very, very tight between the bookies. Could go either way. They do slightly favour Kryškovia. I'm going to go with a draw as well, as these two sides like the form, but like the bookies say, it's too tight to call. Go over to Malta now as the Spartans take on Samsunspor. Spartans under Giacomo Modica sit 23rd right now. No points on the board. Back-to-back defeats in all competitions. Up against Samsunspor out of Switzerland, managed by Peter Zeidler. They sit 5th right now with 3 points. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches. They never played each other coming into this. Spartans on the back of a loss against Jaglonia in this competition. Just a 1-0 win for the Polish outfit when they last played in this competition. They followed that up, though, with a defeat in the top flight, losing to Zlima, which makes it back-to-back defeats, back-to-back games without a goal. As for Samsunspor, completely different kettle of fish for them. Unbeaten the last 6. They did pick up a win against Breidablik, 3-0 winners last time around. They followed that with a 5-0 win over Young Boys, but they did draw the last match 2-2 against Luzern. The odds for this one, you'll go with Samsunspor. I'll go with Samsunspor. 3-0 winners over in Malta. Big win for the current high flyers, Samsunspor. Up and over to Romania as we go to the Ion Oblemenko Stadium, University Cracova, taking on Noua Yerevin. That's right, Cracova managed by Mira Radodol. Sit 28th right now, no points for them, just the 1 win in the last 5 in all competitions. Up against Noua Yerevin under Sandro Perkovic, they sit 15th, and they did open up their account with a win. Now, these two clubs yet to play each other according to my data. The host, Cracova, on the back of that big win, 3-1 winners in their domestic top flight. Junoria Zablozia. As for Noua Yerevin, they're unbeaten in at least the last 6, in fact last 7, but they got 4 clean sheets on the bounce, including back-to-back 0-0 draws in the domestic top flight. The bookies odds on this one, they'll go with the host here. This could go either way, but I think I am leaning towards a home victory here, University Cracova, to get the W in Romania, and of course get their season started in this competition. And then finally, folks, we head over to the Green Island. That is Ireland. Of course, Shamrock Rovers and Stephen Brady taking on NK Celje. That's right, coming out of the Taliat Stadium, of course. Shamrock Rovers sit 32 right now in the table. No points for them. 3 defeats in the last 4. Up against NK Celje and Albert Riera. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6. In fact, open it up a little bit. Haven't lost in the last 11 matches. Haven't lost any of the last last 8 away matches. Tongue twister, that is. Now, they have played twice, these two clubs. It was back in August 2024. And it resulted in a win for each, of course, including a win for Shamrock Rovers when they last played in Ireland. Now, Shamrock Rovers are on the back of a couple of defeats, losing to Shelbourne, losing to St. Patrick's in the domestic top flight. They last played in this competition Also a heavy defeat, losing to Sparta Prague. As for Celje, they did beat AEK Athens opening day. Followed that up with a win against Rayo and a 0-0 draw against Olympic Ljubljana. So back-to-back clean sheets for Celje. They're coming in as favoured for the W on this one, but I don't think so. I think Shamrock Rovers at home will prove a little bit difficult for a lot of clubs. I'm going to go with a 2-1 surprise win for Shamrock Rovers in the end. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like heading out of match number 2. Lincoln Red Imps, Hammer and Spartans struggling still. The likes of BK Hacken, AZ Alkmaar picking up some valuable points. And then moving closer to the top there. Fiorentina just outside the top 8. But your top 8 heading into match number 3 will be Lech Poznan, Samsunspor, Crystal Palace, Sparta Prague, Strasbourg, Shakhtar Donetsk, Mainz and Vallecano. That, my friends, will complete my predictions. Of course, make sure you do us a favour. Smash that subscribe. Smash the like as well if you do us a favour. And, of course, we're trying to get up to 30 likes in this. Can you do us all a good solid with that? I'll see you soon, though, when we return for the next games. When, of course, we come back around.